Internet. Welcome back to the Cable Trash Cast. Tonight we have a special episode where we actually have a completely famous animator with us tonight called Hannah Park. She worked on the Diary of a Wimpy Kid Rodrick Rules movie, streaming now on Disney Plus. So, introduce yourself, people. So, guess first.
Hello. I was an animator on Rodrick Rules. It's my first movie. It's my only claim to fame. It's nice to be on the podcast. Hi.
Alex.
What are we introductions again? Right? It's
Yeah,
been a while.
introductions.
Alex. I'm Alex the Menace. That's kind of my name I go by in most places. So I don't know. You can find me. I do art. And I don't know. I'm just around.
Okay, Foil.
My name is Royal Foil, and I also do art. And I got Instagram, Redbubble, Teespring. Open a new art station account. So check it out. And Tuna will put it in the description.
If I remember, yeah.
Oh.
And then Jedi.
Hello, I am the JediSonic. I do not draw art, despite an OC. Do not be fooled. In fact, I am one of those gamers. Where my real kind of fame is on a website that looks like it's stuck in the mid-90s.
Newgrounds?
No, a different 90s website.
Okay, but also, before we start, we have a secret sixth guest and one of my brothers, Jedi Gonzalez. Say hi, Jedi Gonzalez. Hey, amigo. He's a pretty funny song.
Are you doing a nostalgia critic right now? Get out of here.
No worries, that was just a joke.
Oh, right.
Kicked out of podcast. Never return.
It's my gamer blood.
Okay, we
gamer blood.
Anyway.
Okay, but anyways.
You were gonna say something, Jedi?
But being serious, yeah, I am more on the gaming side, so but it's not like I'm not interested, so I do have a few questions.
Okay.
For Cheese.
For me.
We'll get on to with that. And before we start with the first question is Cheese, do you have any social media you wanna shout out?
Since you mentioned it, sure. I'm pretty active on Instagram, so it's a kind of a chronic addiction. I'm okay though, I promise.
24/7 on Instagram.
No. That's actually true. That's sad. Anyway, so I'm pretty active on Instagram. I post pretty often. You can follow me for both my art, whether it's drawings or 3D art, animation, because I do it all. That's pretty much the only social media I regularly visit. So I feel like that's the only one that is really going to be relevant. So thank you.
Okay, cool. And now we can just begin with the more formal questions.
Let's do this.
So to start off, easy. Well, an easy question is, what software you use and what animation methods are you most familiar with?
Well, the industry standard is Maya. I don't really know if that's a commonly known fact, but pretty much every studio uses Autodesk Maya. They tend to have their own version of Maya, which means they have their own tools coded in and stuff. I don't really know entirely what you mean by animation method. Do you mean my preferred style?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'm answering the question correctly, but hopefully it'll still be interesting. I did start out doing digital 2D because that was the easiest thing to kind of get into as a kid. I started actually. I don't know if I'm going too far back, but I started with Flipnote on the DSi.
Oh, nice.
Wow,
12
memories.
frames per second.
CSI, oh my god.
100 by 100. It's a little bigger than that, but 100 by 100 resolution. And then I went on to Adobe Flash. My mom and dad got me a bamboo tablet, which was, I think, about the size of 2 smartphones. And I started using Adobe Flash. And at first, when I started using it, it was really weird because the default frame rate was 24 frames per second when I was so used to 12. So yeah, from there, I went to college and learned how to animate traditionally. And now I hate digital animation because I realized that when I was doing animation digitally, I was skipping straight to cleanup. I don't know, for some reason, it always bothered me doing rough on digital. But with paper, I realized I could be as rough as I want and I don't care how messy it looked.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Strange. I have the inverse effect. I feel like I can be messier on digital.
It's hard. I don't know. I relate to it personally.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's just like I have this impulse of like trying to be. Well, sorry, it's not about me. Continue.
Go on,
Alex.
I want to hear it.
Yeah.
No,
Every
just
voice matters. Go on.
just the impulse to be like it's digital. It's like, oh, I have to like immediately make it look like, I'll do like a rough sketch and then like I'll do the thing, but then I like polish it and like
Clean,
super clean and keep going over and over and over every little line. It's like, no, there's like a little pixel sticking out. I don't like that. Or versus with paper, what you were saying, it's just, like, oh, it's okay if I'm a little rough and whatever. Like I can, it's, I don't know. I'm quicker.
It's gonna look fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm quicker with traditional because of that. But at the same time, I don't. Except for colors, it's way faster to do digitally. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I've never even done traditional color. I don't feel like I'd have the patience for that because, like, if you want to do traditional color, don't you have to like ink clear cells and paint on the back of them with like real paint?
Yeah, right.
Like, no way. I don't. I love traditional animation, but I could never do that.
I just meant like paint, like traditional art in general, but but like painting, like oil or acrylic or stuff like that.
I had to do all that for art school.
Oh yeah, okay. Watercolor is painful.
Oh yeah, I can't. Oh yeah,
I forgot it all though. And I didn't actually start doing CGI until college. It actually took me quite a while to get into it. At first, when I started, I was doing it only because I had to for my classes, and I was like, "This sucks. I don't understand anything." I remember my ZBrush class. I was working on my first character model for the class, and I just had so many 6-pointed stars. I don't know if any CGI artists know what I mean, but basically, my teacher took a look at my model, and he was friggin' pulling his hair out because I didn't understand.
And he was upset with the horrible topology.
Yes, I didn't know what that was.
Topology.
And this is funny, not to go on too long of a tangent, but I still message him. I don't know if anyone knows of him. His name is Glenn Miller. Some of the stuff that he worked on is Titanic. He did the ship CGI for the ship. He worked on Jimmy Neutron, the movie. I'm sure there's like tons of other stuff.
Nice.
Those are the two notable ones.
I was just watching the behind the scenes for Titanic not long ago, and they were talking about the CGI. So I may have actually seen him in the name. There's like a million names in that movie, so I may have just not remembered. But yeah, if it was CGI stuff, then I probably saw his name or him pop up. That's cool though.
Yeah, but he was great. Actually, when I found out that I wasn't going to be able to animate my own characters in CGI unless I modeled and rigged them myself, I was like, okay, I guess I'll learn how to rig a model. I don't like rigging. Modeling is okay, but the only reason why I rig is so I can animate my own characters. He when I told him that I wanted to rig, he looked at me like I was crazy. Not because I sucked. Well, maybe because I sucked. But he basically said, "Sweet child, do not go near the thing that is called weight painting,
Ooh.
or you will never be the same. And he made it sound super scary.
Because it is scary.
Yeah.
Weight painting changes you.
It does. But I've done it so much now. Long story short, 3 years later, I am a CGI animator at a Canadian studio, and I rig, model, and animate for fun. So that is my animation history.
For fun.
Ew,
Thank you.
animation
Thank you.
for fun.
Yeah, I
What kind of
know.
It's
Maybe.
like be crazy.
Okay. See. And then so what's your career goal as an animator?
My career goal, well, I feel like partially I've already reached my goal because my goal was to be an animator. Well, I mean, to be an animator and get paid for it, because
Yeah.
I love animating and I knew that it's what I wanted to do. So basically everything I've done up to this point has just been to be able to get an animation job that I can make a living off of. So since that goal is already met, which I am happy about, I don't need to play that.
Sorry.
From
You were cutting
No.
out a little bit there.
Oh no. Can you hear me now? Or...
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't really know why. But I would say that my goals now are just to get more animation jobs and to get paid more for my jobs. Because with an entry-level position, like, yeah, my salary isn't going to be the highest. It's like my first job. But
Oh boy.
I'm only 24, but I would say that my personal goals, my little goals, I guess, would be to learn Blender. Learn Blender more, probably.
The actual good 3D software.
Excuse me? No, I'm just kidding.
Tooner gone mad.
Tooner, you're gonna get them blacklisted. Stop
We're gonna
talking.
start a war.
What?
Actually,
No,
don't.
I'm gonna get myself blacklisted.
I have blackmail on you because I know that what you did.
The fact that she's on this podcast right now is
Wait, what did I do? No, you don't answer that.
You've done everything.
I'm only here because I blackmailed him.
So yes, put me in this podcast that only 2 people watch.
Yeah, I saw your views. I know.
I used to have more views, but I slowed down on the videos.
You only have 2 podcasts on your channel.
No, I have it. There's more videos on my other channel.
Okay.
And I made a new channel recently for it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
I shouldn't be being rude about the podcast.
No, don't worry. I'm rude about it.
Move on to the next question.
Next one.
Tooner, why do you suck? Next question. Tooner, why are you not building cheese?
Why am I not famous yet? Let's see. You partially, well, you kind of answered this one.
Famous.
But why do you like being an animator?
This kind of makes me want to talk about another point, like a little thought that I got. And I feel like already everyone knows this, but I feel like the reason why animators and artists in general do what they do is because they like the art. Like, you don't become an animator to make money. You don't become like an animator to get a ton of money, which may be the case for like people who go into computer science or medicine, which I don't mean any offense to those careers. It's just that animation isn't really known for being a very well-paying position, especially if you're someone like me who just does like a part of it. So to me, I feel like the main reason why people become animators or artists is because they like animating and doing art. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. It's very very insightful.
I think because when you said like why would you want to become an animator? I don't know. It's cool, man.
I like to make this one line wiggle frame by frame. You do.
Yeah. It does feel like masochism sometimes, I will admit, but it's worth it.
Okay. Then what scenes do you work on?
All right, so I don't know if YouTube will destroy copyright your video for this, or even if you want to put in the effort, which if you don't, I understand. You don't have to. But I don't mind if you put part of the animation I'm talking about in your podcast if you want to.
All right.
The first scene that I worked on was that scene. I don't know if anyone listening to this has seen the movie. I'm just going to act like you did, because it's not going to make any sense if I don't.
Yeah.
The scene
spoiler
after.
Alert.
Which movie?
Yeah, spoiler alert, guys. The scene after Rodrick puts his clothes on and he's walking into the kitchen to get his bowl out. And that entire scene where Rodrick is telling Rowley to come over and help set up the party. And then when he actually sends out the party invite on his phone, where Greg is looking at his phone all amazed that he has 50 plus people in his group chat. And he's like, oh my God, why do you have so many friends? And Roderick's like, it's called popularity. You friggin' dingus. And he sends the text message and he walks away all giga chat. I did all that. Towards the end, there was a few primary shots that I didn't set up the poses for, but the majority of it was me. It's really cool because I think that's actually the only sequence in the film which I did more than 2 back-to-back. Organization for the movie was quite messy when it came to assigning shots to artists. I don't think they meant for it to be like that. It just kind of ended up being like that, where shots were constantly being pushed and passed around. So it was a little hard to find good things for my demo. Other than that scene, I also did a few shots towards the end of the movie at the talent show scene. None of the really cool band shots, I did not want to touch those. First of all, we needed to make it so they were actually playing the music. We had to animate it so they looked like they were actually doing what they were doing, which I knew that I couldn't do. So the scenes before the concert starts, Greg is about to go on stage with his drumsticks, about to upstage his brother, but his brother doesn't know it. I did the whole sequence where he looks at his family and he's like, I gotta go get ready for the talent show. And his family is congratulating him. And then it stops on Rodrick and he looks at Greg and he's basically calls him a loser before he goes on stage and makes Greg angry, and he just barges into the camera with his drumsticks in hand. I did that sequence. And I think one shot after that, where it's this wide shot of the family. This is a very small, insignificant detail, but I really liked it. Manny claps in that scene where he's just clapping because the talent show announcer is announcing something. That wasn't in the storyboard. I just added that because I thought it would be cute. And after that, they added in a clapping Foley after I animated him clapping. So it was kind of cool to be able to be the one who makes someone do something for once. Because usually it's the other way around. So that was a little detail I liked.
Power.
Yeah, no.
Unlimited power.
Whoa.
There are plenty of scenes that I helped touch up and fix, but I can't really say that I did them because I didn't do most of it. I did a few lip syncing things for the party scene with all the teenagers. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was on crowd control too. So I helped kind of build up the library of background character animations, mostly clapping and cheering, because we needed a lot of that for the talent show scene. So I did that. If you see anyone clapping, chances are that I animated that. If you see anyone headbanging, whether it's in Rodrick's party or the concert at the end, I animated that. They use the headbanging animation so much that I was worried that they would think that we were recycling so much. I only made one headbanging animation.
How does it feel to be the sole reason Jeff Kinney has a home, has money to? I can't talk. Jeff Kinney, like whatever. How does it feel to be the sole reason Jeff Kinney has income?
Oh, that's funny. You're funny. I mean, if I'm being honest, it's a pretty big honor just to be a part of this project because I know that. I mean, I'm pretty positive that he's very happy with the work we're doing. He's stated multiple times that he wants pretty much every single one of his books to be turned into a movie, and I don't think he's going to stop until people tell him to stop. So we're already working on movie 3. I'm not allowed to say anything about it, but it has been announced, so I can say it exists, and we are working on it. I was.
Well,
actually, a quick question.
The last straw or whatever. But
actually, a quick question about it. Does it have Greg Heffley in
it? This dude.
This dude.
No.
This
guy.
guy.
All the secrets.
Yeah, but Disney has a gun pointed at them as for this.
I will say it is definitely a movie that will exist. Actually, I can't even say that because who knows?
It's announced,
said enough.
But that's it.
Anyway, yeah. In fact, I was just working on it today because that's my life.
Yeah. But
this honestly, it kind of reminded me of like the story of the guy who worked in the Atari thing, where he's like, yes, I put myself up to the challenge.
And?
Huh?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Sorry.
Anyway,
what are you talking about?
To continue on, just it's a very impressive catalog. Like for a beginner animator, you worked on a lot of scenes.
It was pretty awesome. I mean, I do think that it was pretty cool that I got a position like at an actual cartoon studio for my first job. I've never had an internship. I've pretty much only done one freelance gig with no pay. But Mardell, like, I don't know if it's because they want to curate like animation talent. They reached out to me, first of all, someone who's never really done anything. I just graduated from college. But what's also cool is that when I actually went into the studio, I met some coworkers of mine they had not even graduated from college yet. I mean, technically, I guess they did, but they hadn't had their graduation ceremony. So they were like they had their eyes on these kids. They were like, okay, what college students can we instantly snatch up to come work for our studio? So I don't know if that's just something they do or something, but I just think it's really cool that they're giving like young people like such a great opportunity. One of my coworkers, actually, he's fresh out of college as well. I used to think I was the youngest person working at Bardell. These kids are 21.
Damn.
And so, yeah.
Wish my college got that treatment.
Right. Go to Canada.
Okay. Then.
Wait. So you're in Vancouver then, right? I presume.
Yeah. I went there. I'm staying in California at the moment, just visiting my family. but I have lived in Vancouver for a while. They really wanted me to come over, and people didn't really understand why my studio wanted me to come over so badly, because when I first started working, everything was still online. Like, a studio wasn't even open, so I guess technically it didn't make a difference. I think that every time someone, like an HR representative, gets an employee to move to Vancouver, they like get a raise or something, because they're very insistent on their employees actually living in Vancouver. While I was in America, I was on something called an independent contractor. I don't know what that means, but it's different from like an employment, and I think they were making less money or something.
Independent contractor. So basically, it's a project by project basis.
Yeah, I mean,
You're not actually like officially part of the company and whatever.
yeah, so
payroll.
as soon as I moved to Vancouver, it was another contract. So I just had like a bunch of contracts.
When I was a contractor, I got paid the same, but I didn't get the same benefits as a regular employees.
Yeah, me too. Now that I am in Vancouver, I do get benefits. They're not the best benefits, but at least they exist. No shade to the company. I mean, obviously, I'm only a first-year employee. I understand.
Just $3.50 an hour, no dental, no medical.
We have dental.
Damn,
No,
they don't
hold
even
on.
cover.
No breaks, 12-hour work
okay.
days.
You know, honestly, I enjoy the company events more than the benefits. I won't lie.
Yeah, I don't actually know the company. It's probably like very very nice to work in.
Ardell Entertainment. They do a lot of shows. They've probably done stuff that you've seen. They worked on Rick and Morty. They did Bob's Burgers for a while. They made Teen Titans Go.
I'm not really a fan of Hallmark stuff.
They're working on a bunch of shows that I can't even talk about.
Go on, tell us your secrets.
Oh.
We need to know the industry secrets.
No, I'm gonna get fired.
The Fortnite TV show.
Okay.
Oh my god, dude! You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if they did make one. That's the kind of thing that they would make.
Excuse me.
So and then like so how long did those scenes take you?
It's kind of hard to remember. I'm pretty sure it took months. Another reason why it's so hard for me to say how long it took is because they got passed around a lot to different artists. And some of them would just take, like, kind of sit in purgatory until someone would realize something was wrong with them and they'd get fixed. If I had to guess, I would say a rough estimate would probably be like 3 to 4 weeks, which is a long time. It shouldn't take that long. I don't know. Maybe it should. It's kind of hard for me to judge. That's kind of a hard question to answer, but I think maybe like half a month to a month would be an estimate.
Half a month to a month for like
like 2 or 4 weeks.
All the scenes you worked on. Okay.
Oh, all the scenes I worked on? No, because I had to help with basically almost everything. There is a sprinkle of Hannah Park in like 70% of all the shots you see in Rodrick Rules, whether it be like a background crowd animation I did, or just like a minor tweak I made, or like an actual scene that I worked on. Like, I was there the entire time. I mean, people just don't leave in the middle of a project. I mean, sometimes they do, but typically they don't. So if you mean like how long did I work on the movie, I would say as long as it was in production. I was there like at the last weeks of the movie before, like I was there for retakes. Like everyone else was gone. I was the only one doing stuff. You know, I was like the last lone soldier working on like, tiny little details to fix here and there, like technical issues. So
This only confirms what I said about Jeff Kinney owing you his life.
He owes me. I don't even know. Okay, because I have gotten a few like recognitions from him on Instagram. Like I said I worked on the movie. I posted a video of myself reacting to my credit in the movie, and he saw it. I don't even know if it's him. Okay, for all I know, it could be his kid. It could be someone he's paying to manage his social media account.
I think he's actually legit active on it, though.
Man, I don't know. I mean, if he listens to this podcast, if he wants to say something, let us know, Jeff Kinney, if you're actually running the Instagram account.
But
are you gonna put Rodrick rules in the thumbnail for this tuner?
yeah.
Yeah. You might actually get some. No, that's a me. I'm sorry. I was gonna say you might actually get some views.
I might. Finally, I get more than 5 views. Yeah.
You'll get 7.
Yeah.
This podcast is more of a hobby. I got like 20 other different projects to work on.
Yeah, I know.
Then that's like all my animation questions. Any of you guys have any questions?
I got one if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so I know with like animation, there's like this whole like there's like the part where you're like doing the animation. There's also like a storyboard thing. Do you ever like have communication with the storyboard? Any member of the storyboard team?
Oh man, okay. So this is a very good question. I don't really know how it is in other studios, but for my studio, we never talk. Every single division of the project has their own group chat. They have their own team meetings where no one else is invited. When I have team meetings, it's only the animation people. When people in the storyboarding department have meetings, it's only the storyboarding people. And that's the same for design, who make all of the concept art, like the people who render, people who composite. It's very segregated. I guess that's just how it is, because I guess on a practical level, it just isn't efficient to like have big congregations. But sometimes I feel like it would be really useful, because I don't say this to disrespect anyone, because I know everyone is working like very hard and they're just doing what they're told to do. But for our layout pass, we had to do a lot of rearranging of scenes. The storyboards had to be changed a lot, and instead of the storyboards actually being changed, a lot of it was just changed in the layout stage. So I feel like there wasn't a lot of communication going on there. Sometimes, like when stuff like that happens, I feel like we could benefit from, knowing people on the other departments exist. It was really kind of interesting because I actually got to meet someone on the design team while I was working in the actual office. Like I went into work that day and I was just going to do my thing and start animating some like lollipop flesh demons. And I looked behind me, and one of my coworkers that I've never seen before is working on like the concept art for one of our scenes. And I look over it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the thing I'm working on. And I like super nicely introduce myself, because it's super cool to see people who are working on other things. Because even though I never talk to these people, I am constantly looking to see all the work they do. We have an overview page at work where every single submission, whether it be an animation clip or a model they made or a concept art thing they did, it just shows up in the feed. And I am always on the feed just looking at everything, because I want to see what people are making. Mm-hmm. And there's this one concept art illustration that I absolutely adore. Like there's just so many little details that I love, and it's so funny and so great. And of course, I had no idea who made it. And even if I looked at their name, I didn't know who they were. And like that kind of went on for a couple of weeks. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm never going to meet whoever made this. And sure enough, I go into work one day and I look over my shoulder and I see someone working on it on their Cintiq. And I'm like, oh my God, are you the genius behind this wonderful concept art? I just flat out say that to her. And like, I just keep on praising her for it. Like, this is so great. This is awesome. I'm so glad I finally got to meet the person who did this. Thank you. So yeah, to answer your question, we don't really communicate that much. Maybe other studios is different, but yeah, no, not really. Not really else.
So I'm guessing when it comes to like what stuff you're given to do, it's just sort of like emailed or something, or like
Yeah. Well, I feel like a big part of the communication between departments relies on directors and project managers. I'm pretty sure the only people who actually get to talk to all of the different departments are the project managers.
yeah, the managers.
They relay stuff. They like let us know crap. Like they're on it. Yeah.
I ask this question since the closest I've gotten to this thus far, aside from a few like research projects in college, I was in a robotics team, and we also. And yes, I know it doesn't sound comparable at all. It kind of is because there's also departments, but
yeah,
like obviously, but we like talk between teams a bit more often.
Yeah,
but obviously that's because it's just a high school.
Well, I mean, in high school it may have been different. I don't really know how to compare.
Yeah,
it is.
I guess
This is like, oh, you're an actual job.
we all have to deal with managers.
Yeah.
It's not like high school, you're all in a fucking shop class.
Yep.
But I was just curious about that.
Oh no, yeah, no, I totally. If you have any other questions, like anyone, I'm happy to answer them.
I got one.
Speaking about the flesh puppet thing, what flesh lollipops? Why was it flesh lollipops? Why was it 3D instead of a 2D simple artwork like the books? Or
you're asking me that, dude. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I'm not sure. Well, it is really hard for me to answer that question. I think that Bardell really succeeded in even making something that resembled the 2D illustrations that wasn't completely demonic to the eyes. It's a little demonic. It takes a little bit to get used to. But just the fact that they made something that you could kind of get on board with is amazing to me. Because when you look at the Diary of a Wimpy Kid drawings, you're like, that's the last thing I think would look good in 3D. I don't know why they did it.
Yeah, but like the live action. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. It's fine.
Oh, no, I was saying that like from what I heard, the live action movies when they had those 2D parts, apparently they were in 3D. And
you're cutting out a bit.
Foil, you're cutting out.
You're becoming a robot.
Oh, I was talking about in the live action movies they have those parts where it's like
the book
like they appear in 2D but they're in 3D. Yeah. And I was wondering how exactly why couldn't they just do that for this movie?
They made those movies when I was 10 years old, man. I don't know how they did it. My best guess.
Which movies?
The live
action movies.
2010.
Oh, my bad. Right, yes.
There you go. My best guess for why they didn't do the book style was probably because it was too expensive. If you go back and actually watch which is ridiculous, I don't really know. There's no good reason I have, but if I had to take a guess, if I look at the animation they did for the live action movies, they're in the 2D segment. It has no reason to look as good as it does. Like it looks 2D and it's super smooth. I don't understand. What?
And it's also like the squiggle motion that
yeah, it's very fluid and wavy. It doesn't look static at all. I don't know. I feel like they reasonably couldn't have made it look that good on a TV show. It may have something to do with money. It may have something to do with just like preference. Like for all we know, it may have been Jeff who said, "Okay, let's make 3D instead of like let's do 2D." I don't really have a good answer to that. What?
Let's give him flesh.
Oh yeah, Greg Fleshly. Let's do it.
Greg Fleshlight.
Yeah.
Ew.
What did you say?
Ew.
I plead the fifth.
Any other questions?
I have one, unless Foil and everyone else is done.
Okay, what's up?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Alex. See?
I was just kind of wondering from my world at least. So who do you? Because like there's a director or I guess someone who oversees the project for the whole film. How much, at least in animation, how much communication is there, at least in your position, between like the director, or do you have to like answer, or do you like answer more specifically from like, I don't know, like someone specifically in your department, or like, you know, a producer, not the producer, my bad. I don't know. I was just wondering how communication is like between, you know, the director and you.
So animators have something called supervisors. Supervisors are basically just animators, but they tell the other animators what to do, and they relay stuff back to like the animation manager. The animation that I submit has to be approved by my supervisor before the animation manager can see it. That's usually how it goes. Once the animation manager approves that, it goes to the directors and they see it. Depending on what the directors say, it'll get knocked back or it'll get approved and it'll be shown to the clients. The clients in this case are Disney. So I don't really know what happens past Disney. It kind of goes like too far out of my reach at that point. I have a pretty good communication with my directors, I would say. I get to have meetings with them occasionally. If there is something that they feel like would be difficult to explain over relays of messages, they will pull you into Zoom meetings or video calls, and they will like explain it to you in person. We have two directors. We have Luke Kamira, I believe his name. I'm so sorry if I'm saying it wrong. We also have Gino Nichelle. So they as far as I know, those two guys they're in contact with Disney. So it is a very multi-layered pipeline. A lot of like stages to pass, which is why I always get so anxious. Like even after like my supervisor will approve a scene of mine that I've been working on for like hours, and I'd be like, phew, it's approved. But what if they like don't like it? What if this guy doesn't like it? What if it's like a bunch of levels I have to pass. So that's basically how it works. This is kind of irrelevant, but I just want to say Gino is so cool. He's one of the directors. I actually got to see him like in person for the first time when our studio first opened. He's so cool. He brought his dog a few times. He has this adorable golden retriever puppy who I got to pet. So yeah, he's a really neat guy.
Okay, but yeah, I was just wondering, just because from like I come from the world of like live action, so I was just kind of curious because I've always been curious like how it works with animation, because I know it's like the same thing, but there's certain differences, and I never really know like how like it works. There's always little like micromanagement type stuff.
Yeah.
But no, thank you. I was curious
You're
about
welcome.
that. Yeah.
Anybody else has any other questions?
I mean, I do have one question.
Go ahead, Foil.
I'm all ears.
Okie dokie. Okay, so you know how like let's see, when you're trying to test the rigs of the models, like you ever try to like toy around with them? Like you know that one clip with Handy Mandy where it's like he has a lightsaber and it's from one of the animators. Like you ever have like one of those clips where you probably done that? I guess.
Okay. Well, we do have something called rig testing, and it's basically just the stock animation that all of the rigs go through, where they push the limits of the rig, and it looks freaking wacky as hell. It's really funny. But the purpose of it is just to like show deformations and how things move and stuff. I'm not really in the rigging department, so I'm pretty sure that they do all the testing. If they do something funny for testing purposes, I'm pretty sure it stays with them. Sometimes I will do stuff with the models that's just for fun. Actually, during the beginning of my job at Bardell, one of the first things I did was use one of the Wimpy Kid background characters and like model over it so it looked kind of like me, and then made that my profile picture at work. So I did something like that, which was fun. I did do one video that was just basically Greg's little hair tuft spinning around, and I did a play blast of his hair just spinning around, and I added the Vine Sauce spin sound effect over it, which I thought was really funny. I'm not allowed to show that video to anyone, but I just have it on my phone.
Oh.
I'm not allowed to, because technically it belongs to Disney. I'm not allowed to like show people things that wasn't in the movie. It's just sad.
Darn.
Well, speaking on that, there is a couple like animations that I did and I liked, but I wasn't able to show because it didn't end up in the film. And anything that doesn't end up in the film, I'm not allowed to show. I have two animations because in the beginning of the project, I was tasked with doing a ton of background characters, which I did mention earlier. But a few of the background animations that were not used were fangirling cycles. There was one where she was basically fangirling, like really hard. There was two of them, actually. And I really liked how they turned out, but they weren't used in the movie. I thought it'd be funny if the teen girls were like really, really fangirling super hard at Load a Diaper. So that's what I was thinking going into it. Unfortunately, they will never see the light of day.
Damn it, Disney.
Sad reality for a lot of these things.
Release the behind-the-scene footage.
I can't. I'm sorry. It's out of my hands.
Make a hashtag so Disney notices hashtag release the cheese cut.
No.
Release the cheese cut.
Cheese
That's funny. Another funny thing that I did with the models, I guess technically, is I named all the background characters. They made a lot of really cute character designs for the teenager background characters. They were just kind of there to fill up the scene during a Rodrick's party in the talent show. But there's some really cute designs, so I gave them all names. I still remember them all too.
What are their names? Tell us their names.
So I named the big Mexican goth girl. I named her Claudia, but her real name, according to the brochure that Greg holds, her name is Erica Hernandez. But like that was before she got a name, so to me, she's Claudia. The girl with the pastel pink and blue hair, her name is Shannon. She's actually the first character that I got to animate. The girl that has the big nose and the spiky hair and the tank top, her name, what did I name her? I think I named her Crystal. No, that was the beanie girl. There were so many. I know that like Muppet Mouth girl with the orange hair and the striped tank top, her name was Mindy. Mindy, yeah. There's this one character who has a sweater that just has big, basic block letters on it. When I first saw like that her T-shirt had that design, I thought it was so funny, but I'm pretty sure no one that's watched the movie has noticed that her shirt says that. But I named her Gemma because for some reason she looked like a Gemma to me.
Oh, I thought this is like a girl version of Germa's name.
Germa?
Probably, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I believe it.
That poor Gemma.
Germa, actually, I can see the resemblance.
Wait, no.
Hey, any other questions, guys?
Nah.
Not for now.
Not for now?
Unless we're done. But,
If you ran out of things to say, then we're done.
Well, it's just the other questions are just about the movie. like generic questions about the movie,
Sure.
like how much did you like the movie?
I liked it.
You got to give it a 10 out of 10, or Disney
I
fires
liked
you.
it. I don't know. For me, I feel like it's really hard for me to. I don't think it's fair for me to say how good the movie is because I friggin' worked on it. But I do think it's a good movie. Comparing this to the last one, it is longer. The rendering quality does look nicer. The ratings are higher, which I am genuinely surprised by. When I went on Rotten Tomatoes and I saw that this had like a 76% audience score, I was genuinely surprised. I'm like, what?
Alice Mark couldn't get people to hate it this time.
The first movie had like a 29%.
Oh, I was actually gonna say, you said the rendering is better or something like that this time around.
Yeah,
like it's longer. Yeah, I noticed it looked nicer this movie than the last one, which I don't know if you worked on that one, but it did look nicer.
No, I did not work on the first one.
Okay, I'm just gonna assume you're the sole reason it looks better this time.
That's why it looks nicer, because Dark Cheese improved it.
Yeah, it looks Gouda if I do say so myself, but no, sorry, stupid cheese pun. I'll mute myself.
The first one.
You're a monster, you know that?
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm gonna be serious. I don't know if you guys caught that one. Okay, I'm done now. I was gonna say, we do have a huge upgrade to our effects budget for the third movie. I won't tell you what the budget is for, but there's a reason why we needed it. People are going to make jokes about how we spent all of our money on the blank budget, and they're not going to be wrong.
The boop physics.
It's all
no, it's not jiggle physics.
It's all loaded diaper physics.
Yeah.
I know it's the band, but you said loaded diaper, and I was thinking like diaper physics, like someone just like a baby just poops.
It's just.
I don't know what the language limit is on this particular podcast tuner. What is the language limit on this podcast tuner? Or what are we allowed to not say? Since
we want to say monetized.
Okay,
cool. I don't get paid for this, so.
I spend more for cheese's sake, because
you were getting monetized.
No, I'm just kidding.
Don't Alex, worry. If it goes too far, just bleep it out.
What terrible depraved thing were you going to tell me?
Oh no, nothing. I was just gonna say the F word. But I don't know what that's allowed on this particular podcast.
How dare you?
I don't think that's allowed anywhere.
Yeah, I swear a lot. So I was like, I don't know if I should hold my tongue. I'll say freaking or something. I don't know.
Well, Alex, don't you know that Disney is watching right now?
Disney is always watching. They're always listening.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Disney knows about
Bob Iger's gonna personally come to my house and give me hush money, which God, I hope he does because I need money.
If you want hush money, you have to get secrets.
I know secrets. I know from you. You're the intel about the unreleased footage. I'll be like, hey, Bob Iger, you see, I know this. I'm gonna run to the press with this.
Never.
I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. But.
And then I guess the last the podcast question is just: are you a fan of the Diary Wimpy Kid series?
Yes. When the books first came out, I was in 4th grade. I ate it up. It was very fun. For kids like me, I'm like, oh my gosh, this book has so many pictures. I like stick figures. I'm gonna read this book. I did forget about it for a while, but it never left my memory. Diary of a Wimpy Kid is just one of those cultural childhood things that the 2000s kids never forget. So when I first got this opportunity and they told me about this, I didn't even know a Wimpy Kid movie was in the works. So when they told me I was working on this, I kind of got my mind blown. So it's really cool to be able to work on.
It is cool. I mean, also
not just I'm working on a movie that had such a significance. 2000s kids sweep. Not only working on a movie that had such a significant impact on my childhood, but also working for the studio that had such a significant impact on my teenagehood. Because when I was 15, 14, I was obsessed with Ninja Turtles, the 2012 3D series, and the studio that I work for now made that. And a lot of my coworkers, well, not a lot, but one of my coworkers actually was on that show. So
Ooh.
it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Also, I keep thinking you work directly for Disney because you said that Ninja Turtles might wait, but that's Nickelodeon. I'm like, oh,
No,
right. You guys
I don't work
uh,
directly for Disney. Bardell is an outsourced studio of sorts, so they've done stuff for Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney.
Oh, but that's cool though.
Yeah.
The specifically because I don't know what else they've done, but at least sort of that version of the Ninja Turtles, like the at least the animation quality, like the movement and all that sort of stuff is very kinetic compared to previous ones. It's cool.
If you mean the new 2D one, I don't believe that Bardell worked on it. We did the.
Oh, I meant the 3D. I mean the 3D one you were talking about.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
All right. That's like all the questions I had, and
all the questions.
Anyone else can intervene.
If you guys are all out of questions, that's okay. I don't know how long we've been recording. It's been about an hour.
It's been 56 minutes.
I have one question that I was thinking about earlier because you're talking about what you did specifically for the movie, and you said a lot. So it's like maybe I missed it, but I was going to say, did you do any of the scenes with like that involved like Ed Asner's like character, grandpa?
Yeah. I did. I don't think that I animated any big sequences with him from the ground up, but I was involved with like a lot of retouching. There was a few shots with him in the shots that I did entirely, but he was just like idle animation back there. There was one clip. There was this one shot in the retirement home, like right after Greg has his little chase with the security guards in Leisure Towers. And he comes back into the grandpa's suite with his underwear on. And he sits back on the table, and Rodrick and Grandpa don't know he doesn't have any pants on yet. But when he reaches down for we need it. Yeah, I have a funny story. No, I can't talk about it on a podcast. Okay, I'll tell you later.
Is it the boy-sized mall thing?
Yeah. We needed. I already told Tooner.
Yeah, you can say it. You can say it later.
We needed a reason for Grandpa to look under the table and realize that Greg doesn't have any pants on. Initially, we just kind of had it to where he looked down for no apparent reason and realized he had no pants on. And so to fix that, we had it so where his dice, the dice that come out of his shaking cup, he like opens it and the dice fall off the table. And that causes him so that causes him to bend down and pick his dice up, and then he realizes that Greg has no pants. So I reanimated him shaking the dice and the dice falling off the table and him looking down to see he has no pants on. I got a lot of help from my supervisor, Jeff Bowerboom, because it was a little difficult, but I remember like spending a lot of time on that scene.
Yeah, it's difficult, but that change is definitely worth it.
Yeah, they definitely called it. Like that was a good thing to do for the movie.
Oh, I just remember you were saying something about the VFX budget.
That's not until movie 3, so you guys are gonna have to wait.
Oh.
We didn't have that many visual effects in Rodrick Rules. If I remember correctly, I think that sweat, if you ever see a character sweating, that was VFX, that wasn't animation. If you ever see any water, obviously that is VFX. We had a few water shots like during the toilet cleanup scene and the shot where Larry Larkin is in the sink screaming on LSD. That's water effects. We also had the chewing gum that sticks to the phone when Greg has to cut it loose. That is also gum effects. That wasn't animated.
That's where all the money went, to that gum effect.
No. That's for movie 3. You guys are going to see it. I can't tell you what it is. I think that one of the biggest effects shot is probably the shot where Greg bumps into Susan and makes like the burgers fall over.
Oh
That was physics. That was a physics simulation. That wasn't animation, which I
Physics.
thank God for, because I don't think the animator could have handled that. That would have killed them. Yeah, so that was pretty much all the effects. We had like a few dirt effects in there, a few dust effects. But yeah.
All right. Any last question, guys?
Not really. It was just
I can't think of anything. If I think of something maybe later on, I'll ask something
I
like
talked
on
so
Tutor's,
much.
on
Yeah,
Tutor's
yeah.
behalf.
Okay.
But yeah.
Then we'll call it a night. Then
Solid.
thank you, Hannah, for appearing in my podcast and
Thank
talking
you for
about
having
your
me.
profession.
Oh yeah, thank you. I had a good time talking about stuff. So
Hey.
I hope you enjoyed hearing me talk about stuff. Thank you for having me. It was really nice.
Of course, it's cool.
Yeah.
To
Have a
talk
good
to someone
night,
who actually
everyone.
works in the industry, and not just like arms crossed avatar talking about
even like that's what I
like
said.
here's why this movie is
Here's
bad.
why this movie sucks.
Oh, you mean like Ellis Mark, the guy with bad takes?
Alice Mark. Everybody
put no
gangster until the cartoon Avatar crosses the line.
They put no effort into this. The animator should be ashamed. It's like, wow, okay.
You know what?
He didn't say that. It's just not to
I don't know. I think it's more so the
closing
designs than anything else.
But yeah.
It's like a little weird because you're trying to turn those into 3D. And
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I'm just saying it's more so like the designs are still kind of weird.
Yeah.
Even when the animation's improved, because I will say the animation in this movie like stepped up from the first a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
that's the thing I noticed about it. I was like, did it? Because I didn't rewatch the first one for this, so I was like thinking, like, does it look better, or am I just imagining it looking better?
Hannah did that. Hannah made it look better.
Yeah, Hannah went up to like I'm forgetting the name of the two directors. Like you went up to their office and looked them straight in the eye, and we're just like, hey, we need to,
We just
them.
we just step up our game.
The 2D, the 3D is quite strange, and it takes a lot of time to get used to. But one of the things that I absolutely love about the 3D that the 2D didn't have is how like squishy and like rosy their cheeks look. I don't know, something about how it's rendered is just these characters look so lovable and huggable, and they're so adorable, and I really love how rosy their cheeks and noses are. I don't know if that's random, but that's just something I wanted to say.
Oh no, yeah, it's fine. I was thinking with the mom. I'm forgetting her name, but the mom specifically. Where I was thinking like, I like how I don't know. I was like, I don't know if I was like, I like her design, but I can't tell if it's this movie that's like makes her like her design look like cute. Like I could like a plushie or something of it. Or
I think they all look really cute. I think that the added
even Rodrick looks cute.
Yeah.
Like his design, and not in like a hot way. Like with what's the name of the actor from yeah, he's oh my gosh, but yeah.
just reminding me of something.
What's up?
Do you know the person who animated the scene where like Roger's reaching in?
I don't know if I want to
books?
out them. But yes, I do know who they are, and I did show them the screenshot of that tweet that was like, "What the hell is this scene?" I did show him that, and he said, do you think I wanted to animate that shot? And I was like, you wanted every second of it. And then he was like,
the part where he pulls the things out of his.
I was actually. He has poison ivy on his junk. Yeah, that part.
I was really confused when that part of the movie was happening. I was like, what's the rating for this? I'm like, oh, okay, it's just a weirdly. I appreciate weird jokes in movies like
we
that.
Needed
so
something to make the movie PG, okay? Like, come on.
Yeah. I was like, people were like mad. I was like, I don't know. It's always funny when a movie does like something like that. So I wasn't one of the people who were mad about it.
If this was like something from the Goonies, you'd be like, oh man, this is how movies used to be back in the day. Now they're all woke.
He did like, no, like in the chat, because we all chat. at work.
But
He was
that's
like,
funny.
"Hey, honey, what did you do at work today?" "Oh, nothing. I just animated a teenager shoving money in his pants."
that's
Second,
not his resume though. This is
that's the highlight of his career.
This is where he peaks, or they peak.
that's where they.
That subtitle, paper rustling. God dang it! Oh
Mhm.
my god!
I knew I was forgetting another question,
for-
but
What's your question?
Their careers
that was
forever
my second question.
forever scarred.
About who? About if you knew the person who did that.
But yeah,
He's working on the third movie with us.
Yes,
Oh,
we're
that's
gonna.
great.
He's gonna get to do a scene like that again. I hope
Oh
so.
my God.
He's gonna do a scene.
Can I
He's
have
gonna do a scene where the dog. No wait, that's Dog Days. That last straw.
I am
Oh, read
sorry
these
to
books.
inform you, we do not have any dog characters in any.
Yeah, I know because Dog Days. That's when the dog shows up. Because I read these
That's
books
book
back then,
one.
and I'm thinking like,
Well, the next one will last.
what happens in the last straw? It's been so long.
The Last Straw.
That's after this one, at least in the book series. But
Greg is called Fregley, and he gets kicked out of his hotel suite in his tidy whities. That's all I remember.
Oh yeah, they did put that in the second one. Both of them for some reason. I understand why the live action one did it because they're trying to condense certain events in there. But since this one's like trying to be closer to the books, I'm not sure why this one was here.
What did you think was there? Oh, the underwear thing.
Yeah, the hotel with the grandpa. I understand why it's in that live action one because they want to condense stuff. But since this one's trying to be closer to the book, I'm not sure why it was here.
There's a huge plot hole, by the way, that I never brought up that I don't really think is worth bringing up, but I'm going to bring it up here because what the hell? Okay, so the reason why Greg gets caught in Leisure Towers with his underwear on, being chased by old ladies, is because he goes to the bathroom in order to change his pants because Rodrick spat milk on them.
Yeah.
And so when Rodrick tells Greg to change his pants because it looks like he pissed himself, Greg is like, "I can't. Grandpa is using the bathroom." And Rodrick is like, "Okay, well then use the one outside in the lobby." And he does. And my question is, why can't Greg just change his pants in Grandpa's suite? He doesn't have to be in a bathroom. Rodrick can just look away. They're freaking brothers. Like, he doesn't have to be in a bathroom to change his pants.
because he's Rodrick and he's a dickhead.
What? Yeah, no. Greg.
Also, Greg could have just waited until Grandpa was done with the bathroom.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Grandpa has constipation or something.
Wait, we gotta stop criticizing it. If we're giving the arm crossing avatars people to criticize.
That's the one plot hole that I couldn't get over, but I just didn't say anything about it because I'm like, what's the
plot holes in this movie are horrible.
No,
I couldn't focus.
No more arm crossing.
Become a, Rodrick.
You're gonna have Ellis Mark and Plainmore.
But yeah, no more arm crossing. We gotta end the podcast. Everyone, bye. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
What the heck, man?
What?
The fuck?
What happened for you? You want to say something?
No, I'm just wondering why that happened so abruptly.
What happened so abruptly?
Just in the podcast, just like that.
And the podcast. Yeah, we gotta end it right now.
No. I do have one last thing to say.
Ended abruptly. Oh, sorry, continue.
I have one little last bit of useless trivia that some of you may find amusing. One of the shots that I had to retouch, just like a small retouch, that there's the same scene where Rodrick digs in his pants, where he's sitting when he's lying on the couch with his blanket topless. I got one note saying, "Hey, can we raise the blanket up higher so you can't see his nipples?"
Release
Wait,
the
why
nipple
did they-
cut. Oh wait, you can still see his nipples though. I can see it in
Yeah,
the
no,
picture.
I mean, in that one shot, I guess the composition was so weird because like he was like lying on the couch and like the blanket was right below his nipples, and so I guess they just thought it looked too weird, so they wanted me to cover his nipple.
That's like a Disney tradition. Like Aladdin doesn't have nipples. I think they're just like no nipples for men. Men,
No.
men don't have people don't have nipples in general. You
No,
know.
Rodrick definitely has nipples.
Oh, okay. I
Remove-
just think
see
you
them.
can see them. Yeah.
Remove
You see them in
them
the
nipples.
movie. It's just that one shot where the composition looked weird. I had to cover them up, which was kind of funny. Why even add nipples? You know why? Because Jeff Kinney originally drew the characters with nipples. I think that's the only reason.
I know, because it was in the book, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like,
Yeah, they always had like the dot nipple and the belly button dot. Like they had to include that. I think that's the only reason. Because like when we animate these characters, and they aren't rendered, they don't have any detail on their bodies. I'm guessing that the nipples and belly button are like a bump map because that doesn't show up on the mesh.
Makes sense.
Anyway, that was like a tangent.
Okay.
The funny tidbit
Why even
of
add nipples? I don't know.
Disney censoring.
I don't think we've had any huge censoring yet. There was a part where we had to make Rodrick less mean. During that shot where he's calling Greg uncool as he's about to go onto the talent show stage, his original line was that he was a loser, but I guess Disney thought that was too mean, so he just changed it to him saying uncool, which I don't understand. I really don't. I think they're the same. Loser just sounds a bit cooler to me.
I can't believe Disney
Yeah,
cut
really.
I can't
the
believe
part
this!
where Greg swears in front of his parents.
Oh my god!
Release the R-rated cut.
Oh my god, no!
Oh, yeah.
I'm all tuckered up. If you guys have no
Any-
more questions, like I'm ready to sign off.
Oh, I'm good for now. If you gotta go, you could go.
Gotta go. Everyone leave.
Right? I just don't
Goodbye.
want to stick around too long until the point it gets awkward.
Yeah. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Cable Trash Cast.
And remember to see my brother. Bye bye.
Remember to like and subscribe and hit the little bell notification and share this video.
And remember to give me a $100 million
Give
donation.
me all your money.
Bob Iger, give me money. I have ransom notes.
Remember
you
to,
make
Disney give me
make-
money.
remember to play
You
the
make-
hit game
you make
Junction
10
and make it try
episodes of
everyone's
this.
favorite game.
and you think you're a hot shot.
Tuner, let me know
That's
when you
my
stop the
advertising.
recording because as soon as you stop the recording, I'll tell the story about ball size small. I mean, boy size small.
Okay, I'll stop right now.